Might and Magic: Olden Era is a promising old classic turn-based strategy RPG game, which will release in 2026. The biggest inspirations for Olden Era are, of course, Heroes 3 mechanically and visually. The moment you see it, the look immediately transports you back to the golden age of the series. The huge list of map templates promises real variety, from intense duels to epic 8-player matches. But Heroes 5 has also left its mark. Some of its ideas were adopted and cleverly refined. The result is a blend of familiar nostalgia and fresh impulses that fits naturally into the classic gameplay experience. The developers primarily target longtime Heroes veterans, especially fans of Parts 2 and 3. For them, Olden Era is meant to become a new home. But newcomers should also discover why the fascination with the series continues to this day. With passion and a clear vision, the team wants to build a bridge from old tradition to a new generation of strategy fans. In a strategy game, you must immediately see where towns, units, and resources are. Realistic graphics can be impressive, but often hurt clarity. The team tested several prototypes and ultimately settled on a stylized, timeless look in the spirit of Heroes 3, which themselves still feel surprisingly fresh decades later. Players who don't like the colorful palette aren't left out. The game offers alternative color profiles, vibrant, muted, or darker options, perfect for factions like the Necropolis. Playtesting revealed that some units were hard to distinguish in dark biomes, so the team reworked them and plans to keep improving readability, heavily guided by community feedback. Beyond color profiles, the community is especially interested in modding. Version 1.0 will launch with an extensive map editor, offering plenty of creative freedom from the start and still expanding. After release, the developers started a true modding offensive. The goal: maximum long-term freedom, custom scenarios, graphic experiments, or wild projects like Heroes of My Little Pony. The game will offer significant strategic depth right at the start of early access. Recently, the final pre-launch faction was revealed: the Occult Schism, clearly inspired by Cthulhu mythology with tentacles, ice, slime-covered creatures, fanatical cultists, and dark magical attacks. Familiar concepts also return in factions such as the Dungeon, which brings back its underworld atmosphere, dark elves, monstrous allies, and classic units like troglodytes, medusas, minotaurs, hydras, and dragons. The Sylvan emphasize a close connection between nature and magic, featuring forest spirits, fauns, elementals, and the phoenix, blending fairy tale grace with ancient wildness. The Necropolis, as always, relies on the power of the undead, filling its armies with skeletons, zombies, and vampires, and overwhelming opponents through dark magic and constant growth. The Temple faction embodies the human knightly tradition with angels, crossbowmen, and griffins. By fan request, it was reoriented toward the classic Heroes style, showing that the developers pay close attention to community feedback. The Hive faction, meanwhile, brings something completely different with its demonic insectoids, monstrous queens, and relentless swarm tactics, taking the role of the central threat in the campaign. Olden Era aims to provide great freedom in the endgame, offering many different paths to success. Even in early access, it includes 6 factions and 18 skirmish heroes, each with unique abilities and specializations. A key new system is the Laws, a branching decision structure where players choose specific strategic directions. Since not all options can be unlocked at once, every decision has meaningful consequences. Some laws benefit the player's towns, while others directly enhance the armies. These laws can often be improved through multiple levels. For example, temple laws might increase the morale of visiting heroes or allow the construction of an additional building each day, while others offer one-time bonuses in the form of extra materials. Army-focused laws influence combat more directly by granting units additional retaliation attacks or increasing weekly creature growth. Magic has always been one of the most important pillars of the Heroes franchise, often capable of deciding entire battles with a single spell. In Heroes 3, however, the spell selection in the Mage Guild was random, and certain towns had different chances of acquiring key spells, which sometimes meant that vital abilities never appeared. Olden Era addresses this problem by giving players much more targeted control. When a mage guild is built, there is still a basic selection of spells, but all others can be deliberately unlocked with resources. Each upgrade adds a new spell tree, and each tier also includes neutral magic, used not in combat but on the adventure map, such as teleporting between towns or gaining the ability to fly. Spells can also be upgraded and become stronger or gain new effects. This makes the magic system more flexible, less dependent on luck, and more interesting all the way into the late game. Hero development has also become more focused. Upon leveling up, players choose new abilities that give their heroes a distinct profile. Skills are divided into basic, advanced, and expert levels. Basic abilities offer small bonuses, such as reduced vulnerability to magic attacks. As they are developed further, they branch out into additional specializations. At expert level, a hero's playstyle becomes even more refined, turning them into a true individual. As a result, two players starting with the same hero and faction may eventually pursue completely different strategies in the endgame. Although the systems might look extensive at first, the developers have ensured that Olden Era is easier to operate than its predecessors. Many actions are faster and more intuitive. Entire armies can be recruited with a single click, assuming the player has enough gold. Hero encounters are more streamlined, allowing players to transfer armies instantly with only the weakest unit stack left behind. Artifact trading is equally simple. The interface itself enhances clarity by displaying more information during combat, since every unit has an active ability. This helps players remain in full control even as complexity increases. Ultimately, Olden Era strives to be more than a nostalgic tribute. It aims to carry the familiar magic of the series into a new era, with 6 factions, flexible magic and law systems, a clear interface, and more comfortable handling. Veterans will immediately recognize the spirit of Heroes 2 and 3, while newcomers may finally understand what has made the series unforgettable. If the developers succeed, Olden Era could become what fans have hoped for years, a modern Heroes game that feels like home to longtime players and like an exciting discovery to newcomers.